Section 1. The first impression. Why your app needs a splash screen. Have you ever opened an app and seen a blank screen for a few seconds? It can be a bit jarring, right? That's where splash screens come in. They are like a friendly welcome mat for your users. They give a sneak peek of your app's branding and make the loading process feel smoother. In this easy-to-follow guide, we'll learn how to create a splash screen for your very own Android app. A splash screen is the first screen that users see when they open your app. It's a simple screen, often with a logo or an image, that appears while the app is loading in the background. This screen serves a few important purposes. It reassures the user that the app is loading and hasn't crashed. It also provides a branded experience right from the start. Think of popular apps you use. Most of them have splash screens. They use this opportunity to reinforce their brand identity and create a visually appealing introduction for their users. Now let's get our hands dirty and build our very own splash screen. Section 2. Setting up your playground, installing Android Studio. Before we can create our app, we need the right tools. Android Studio is our workshop. It's where the magic happens. Head over to the official Android developer website and download the latest stable version of Android Studio for your operating system. Once the download is complete, run the installer and follow the on-screen instructions. It's generally a straightforward process. Choose the default installation options if you're unsure. After the installation, launch Android Studio. You might be asked to install some additional components, like the Android SDK. Don't worry, Android Studio will guide you through this process. Just follow the prompts and make sure you have a stable internet connection. With Android Studio installed, we're ready to start building. Section 3. A blank canvas, creating your first Android project. Now that we have our tools ready, let's create a new project. Open Android Studio and click on Start a new Android Studio project. You'll be greeted with a screen to choose a project template. Select Empty Activity and click Next. On the next screen, you'll give your app a name. Let's call it My Splash Screen App. Choose a suitable package name. You can leave it as the default or customize it. Keep the language as Java and select the minimum SDK version you prefer. For wider compatibility, choose a lower API level. Click Finish and let Android Studio create your project. Once it's done, you'll see the project structure on the left side of the screen. Familiarize yourself with the different folders and files. We'll be spending most of our time in the folder where we'll design our layout and the folder where we'll write the code. Section 4. Designing the splash, building the layout. Our splash screen will have a simple layout, an image in the center and some text below it. In Android, we use XML to design layouts. 1. Open the file. This is where we'll design our splash screen. 2. For now, let's delete the default Hello World text view that's already there. 3. Drag and drop an from the palette pane, usually on the left, into the center of your layout. 4. In the properties, set the attribute to the image you want to use for your splash screen. Make sure the image is in your projects folder. 5. Add a below the to display your app's name. You can customize the font, size, and color of the text using the properties pane. Congratulations! You've designed your splash screen layout. Now let's write the code that will display this layout as a splash screen. First, open the file. Inside the method, we'll set the content view to our splash screen layout like this. Java set content view our layout activity main. Next, to make this screen disappear after a few seconds and transition to your main app screen, we'll use add this code snippet below, Java new handler, post delayed new runnable, at override intent, =new intent, main activity, this main app activity class, start activity finish 3000 / 3000 milliseconds equals 3 seconds. This code will wait for 3 seconds and then start you'll need to create later. The method ensures that the splash screen activity is removed from the activity stack, preventing users from returning to it using the back button. The Android manifest file is like the script of our app. It tells the Android system which activity to load first. Open the file. Inside the tag, find the tag with the name. Now add the following intent filter inside the tag. XL. This tells Android that is the entry point of our app, meaning it will be the first activity launched when the app starts. Section 7. Lights, camera, action. Running your app. It's showtime. Connect your Android device or start an emulator. Click the green Run button in Android Studio. You should see your splash screen appear for a few seconds, and then it should transition smoothly to your main app screen, which, for now, will be blank. If everything worked as expected, congratulations! You've just created your first Android splash screen. Section 8. Beyond the basics, customizing your splash screen. Now that you know the basics, let's add some flair. Animations. Instead of a static image, use animations to make your splash screen more dynamic. Progress bar. If your app takes a while to load, consider adding a progress bar to give users visual feedback. Background colors and themes. Experiment with different colors and themes to match your app's branding. Section 9. Troubleshooting tips. Common splash screen errors. Black screen flicker. This is a common issue. Add to your splash screen activity in the file to fix it. Slow loading time. Optimize your image sizes and minimize the code executed in the splash screen activity to improve loading speed. Splash screen doesn't disappear. Make sure you're calling after starting your main activity in the file. Section 10. Dive deeper. Resources for continued learning. Congratulations on creating your first Android splash screen. This is just the beginning of your Android development journey. There's a whole world of exciting things to learn and build. Android Developer Documentation, your go-to resource for all things Android. Online courses and tutorials. Websites like Udemy and Coursera offer a wide range of Android development courses. Android communities. Join online forums and communities to connect with other developers, ask questions, and share your knowledge. Keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep building amazing Android apps.